Hello again, and this is my first car review. Today we are reviewing this very nice Skoda Enyaq RS 4x4. And one thing up front, I don't recommend this car. Why? More about this later. So let's go and hook this up on the charging station. At the moment the car has 0%. By the way, it has this nice gray, but the car is actually not gray. It's actually orange, so it's a wrap. 0% charge and 10,100 kilometers on the clock, and yeah, it's charging. So I've driven the car the last 1,600 kilometers or 1,000 miles. I myself, I have the ID.4 from 2021. One of the first ID.4s that were actually delivered. It's an ID.4 Pro, so a pretty empty car, so not very good trim or anything. So I have a leather steering wheel and the big battery and the cruise control with the rudder. That's all I think. But this car is completely packed, and it's from August 24, and I got it actually as a rental car for my ID.4 because my ID.4 is being repaired now. So if you are interested, this is the specs: 220 kilowatt, 299 horsepower, the price, everything, the extras. Yeah, that's the price. Yeah, so let's talk about the car. Basically, as you know, this Skoda Enyaq RS is the same technically as all of the ID cars from Volkswagen. So it's basically an ID.5. So first thing first, you see this very nice roof. I like it very much, but you cannot close it, so there is no shade here. And if it's very sunny, then all of the sun is going directly to your head, and even though it's tinted, still doesn't really help. So let's make a bit an overview of the car. So as you see, yeah, the steering wheel, sports steering wheel, and the big screen now. It's actually updated. I have a small screen. But the screen is a bit strange thing here. So it's actually flat. So if you see it, it's flat like this. So it's not angled to the driver. And this I find a bit disturbing actually, because in my ID.4 I have just a 10-inch screen, but it's angled towards myself, towards the driver, and it's more easy to use. And also here, if you are in the driving seat, you see here, this part here is actually overlapping the display. So myself, I'm a big guy. I'm 188 centimeters tall, or 6'2", and what happens is with one eye it's actually covering the screen, with another eye it's not covering. So it's pretty disturbing here somehow. I don't know why Volkswagen did it this way. So anyway, then the whole, let's say, touch concept. Yeah, so there are less touch buttons than in the ID.4, so there are more, let's say, physical buttons here and here as well. And funny enough, the windows, there are now 4 buttons, not 2 or 3 as in the ID.4. So this is a highly welcome upgrade. Very good. The light, also no touch buttons, so it's all actually physical buttons. Pretty nice. But the whole concept is still a bit questionable. So I was searching the other day, so sometimes I actually ride with the windows open. And I was searching the other day, okay, how to access the climate control. And in the ID.4, you can actually just tap on here on the temperature, and then you go into the climate control. So I was searching like the menu, where is the climate? Nothing. Yeah, you cannot see the climate control here. So I'm already used to the touch, right? So it turns out there is a climate button here, and there is no other way to actually access the climate control just with this button. But then the challenge is starting. So as I said, I'm a big guy, yeah, and I want to turn off the climate. And look at this. Look where this button is. I cannot really reach it. Look where it is. There, in the very, very right upper corner. So who did this UI UX? I don't know. In fact, in the ID.4, the turn off button is somewhere here. So at least in my software version, I have the 3.7 software version. And this one is, I think, 4. something. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. By the way, the software is as laggy as the old one. Yeah, funny enough. Yeah, you see, you're a guest. Yeah, so I have a guest profile here. So Andreas from the VW is the main driver, and I'm just a guest because it's a loaner. And yeah, I cannot access it. Funny enough, I cannot access the software version. So no idea. I think it's software 4. So at least it's a different software than what I have in my 21 ID.4. 134 kilowatt hours or kilowatt at the moment, and yeah, so pretty fast, but not super perfect. It's right now is 20 degrees outside, so 20 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so not very fast, and the reason for that is I was actually super hyped for the battery preconditioning, so you don't have it in the old ID.4s. But then I discovered following. So where is the battery preconditioning? So I was searching for it here in the battery menu, in the charging menu, but there is no battery preconditioning here. So it turns out there is a separate menu here, battery temperature. And if you go there, then you're presented with an error. You can try it again, and it's measuring the battery temperature. It's measuring it and measuring it, and then it tells you you're not logged in. So for the battery temperature, you actually need to log in your car and pair it with an app. So if you're a guest and you don't have a profile in the car, you cannot do battery preconditioning. So why? Just why? So all of this battery charge speed things that I show you is actually without battery preconditioning. Very strange. We'll have a look later on the charging curve. This charging station is showing the actual curve, because it's an Alpitronic station and it's pretty good. So some other things, but this is basically a general thing with ID.4 and with Enyaq. So if you turn on your wipers, so have a look at this. So the lower part of this wiper, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, cannot really see it. But actually, there is like an angle here where this wiper ends. So like here, you can actually see a dirt place or whatever. How do you say? So if you are driving in the evening, exactly this angle here, this one here, it actually stays throughout after the wiping. So if you are in, let's say, snowy conditions or during the night, so you actually can see this where the wipers overlap. And I'm coming originally from BMW. They don't have this, and they designed it better. So one interesting thing about windshield wipers as well, if you compare it to the Volkswagen cars, so here you need to actually push up to turn on the windshield wiper and push down to turn it off, and it's exactly reversed at VW. But this thing itself is exactly the same, so I'm not sure why it was done like this. So another things what I find a bit disturbing, so the car has 10,000 kilometers on the clock and it's already a bit rattling. So there is some rattle here, and it's not inside this this thing that you can adjust. It's like inside the, how do you call it, A pillar? No, it's a B pillar. It's inside the B pillar somewhere, or inside the door, and on the other side as well. So I was driving the other day the Gotthard Pass, and the old Gotthard Pass is the tremolo, and it has these cobblestones, yeah, and it was rattling all around, and I don't know why. So my ID.4 from 21 that has 137,000 kilometers doesn't have this rattle at all. And another rattle what I want to talk about is actually in the trunk. So let's have a look at the trunk. So this trunk has this double, how do you call it? The double floor. So you actually see the height of the floor is almost my hand. So it's like 15 centimeters or something is this floor. I don't have it on my ID.4, and I think it's pretty useless. So you have all of these compartments, but this one compartment you have in ID.4 as well. Yeah. But you have this additional ones. So you are losing a lot of real estate in the whole trunk. So you see it's not really big, and this is just because of this box. So I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah. So about rattling, so I thought that all of this stuff is rattling somehow in the cobblestones, or this one here, yeah, but turns out it's not this. It's like the box itself, or somehow, I don't know, because it's just basically sitting on top. It's not fixed somehow. So I think this whole thing is just rattling. Yeah, if you ask me, just remove it. You have a bigger trunk, and if you're ordering a new car, just order it without. And you will still have the place here for your cable or anything else. Yeah. So nice feature that you can actually close electrically. I don't have it on mine. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So another thing that you don't have on the ID.4 but you have on Enyaq is actually the washer fluid thingy for the headlights. So I was pretty impressed by this. So it's actually washing the headlights. I don't know why they don't have it on the ID.4, so no idea. So about the consumption a bit. The consumption is pretty much the same. It's a 4x4 car, and I have the rear-wheel drive one, and the consumption is around 16 kilowatt hours for 100 kilometers, which is pretty good. And yeah, and funny enough, it's more or less the same as with the rear-wheel drive. So, but there is some downside on the four-wheel drive version, and I'm not sure if it's really so much talked about, but when you are accelerating or decelerating, so basically recuperating, in the first seconds of when you go off the accelerator, the gas pedal, or when you actually push it, so there is like a whine, a very high-pitched whine. If you are having music, then you don't really hear it, but I was driving the other day like really without music, without anything, really silent, and there is like this high-pitched whine, and it is like this coil whines on the old hardware on the computers. So this is the real sound. I cannot really reproduce it, but it seems to come from the front of the car, and I think it's from the front engine, from the front motor. I don't have it on my ID.4, so the ID.4 is dead silent after 30 kilometers an hour when this sound generator is turning off. So when you're accelerating, you have just a normal, let's say, electrical motor sound, yeah. So, but no whining, yeah. And here you have it, and honestly, once you've heard it, you cannot really unhear it again. And yeah, not sure if it's something about this car or in general. So let's put a comment if you are driving one of the 4x4 versions and you experience the same. Another thing with the sound is it has this Canton sound system, and this speaker here is already rattling. So if you have bass, it's already rattling. I'm not sure if people before me abused it too much, but it should not be happening at 10,000 kilometers. So another thing, so this car has head-up. Let's talk about head-up. So I'm personally not a big fan of the head-up displays because they actually mirror here. You have the mirroring on the screen, especially on the very sunny days. So this whole assembly, you can see the outlines on the windshield. So I'm not a big fan of this, but yeah. So this car has this augmented reality head-up. So what's about this? So it shows you like arrows and stuff, so it's actually projecting on the road, but I think it's pretty useless because you have the same display in the main display, and what is actually very disturbing is that it just shows some arrows. So you're driving and it shows just basically an arrow in the last moment, and it doesn't show you the lanes. So the display, the main display, is showing you lanes. So say you are driving on the highway, there are 4 lanes, and it tells you, okay, take the 3rd lane, like in 1 kilometer. And this thing on the head-up, it doesn't tell you. So pretty useless, and yeah. So, and also doesn't work with the third-party navigation. I'm using Google Maps myself. There's also Apple Maps. There is a bit more integration with the whole system here because it shows you the arrows, and Google Maps doesn't show. So hopefully they will update this. So one more thing about this lane assist thing from the head-up display. So the ID.4, even the normal ones, they have like a light bar here in the front, I think Enyaq doesn't have it. So there is like a light bar, and it actually lights up on the lane which you need to go. So like it lights up here, or it lights up here, or it lights up here. And honestly, I think it's a much better solution for this car than this head-up display that is actually not showing the lane information on the head-up display. Don't ask me why. Thank you, Volkswagen. So one more thing about the display when we are talking. So in the ID.4 the display sits just here, and in the Enyaq the display is very, very far away, and actually with pretty small numbers and figures. Yeah, I prefer the ID.4 version more. More difference with ID.4. In the ID.4 the drive mode selector is here, so like in the i3 from BMW, and I think it's much more better than what you have here in the Enyaq. Enyaq has it here, so it's like waste of space here because you basically use it only once. You put it into drive or into B mode, the recuperation mode, and that's all. Same for the parking thing. So the ID.4 has it all here. I think it's better solved in the ID.4. So one more thing on the ergonomics. It's pretty interesting that the whole assist things and the cruise control you actually activate here, but you steer it here with this thing here. And yeah, in the ID.4 it's all on the steering wheel. So it's also a personal preference, but I find it a bit disturbing that it's actually, again, let's say the controls are divided. So it's like two places where you can control it or where you need to touch. So pretty strange. The same as with the climate control, that you cannot access it directly over the touch menu. So they thought about having, let's say, less touch buttons, but they didn't think about the UI UX, which is not really straightforward. So one more pretty annoying thing. So the car has this travel assist with the self-steering, so the car is actually holding the lane. But if you are driving like this or like this, so not like this, yeah, if you're driving like this, then the steering wheel actually from time to time doesn't recognize that there is a hand here, and it gives you all kind of warnings. And actually one time it even gave me this shaking thing, so it actually brakes very, very hard for a second or so. I think it's just to actually wake you up. But I was on the call with my headphones, and I haven't heard the first warning, the red one, and then it tried to wake me up, even though I was driving. I think I was driving like this or like this, so I was controlling the situation at all the time. And yeah, so this part here in the steering wheel, it doesn't recognize your hand properly, so let's say 95%. Yeah, so tell me if you have one of the IDs with this feature. Mine doesn't have it. Is it the same for you or not? I think it's pretty disturbing and actually can be dangerous. Another nice idea, but poorly executed. Again, 95%. So there is a cult holder here for your card, for your charging card, but it doesn't hold the card in place. It's actually also rattling around if you're driving, which I personally don't like. So there should be some kind of a thing that holds the card in place inside, but yeah, there is none. So probably you need to do 2 cards or even 3 cards that it holds in place properly. But with 1 card, Yeah, nice idea. So let's talk a bit about the seating position. So this car has these sport seats with this side thingies, and I'm driving a lot, and as I said, I'm a pretty big guy with 188, 6'2", and yeah, on the long run, if you're driving a lot, it's not really comfortable, and the seats are somehow a bit higher than on the ID.4. So in the ID.4 I just have the normal textile seats, and they're like, I would say like 5 centimeters lower, something like this, than these seats, and this results into a better seating position on the ID.4. And actually also my foot kind of hurts, because I don't know why, but this part here and the higher seating position together, they give me like yeah, at first you don't really see it as a problem, but then in the end, in the long driving, it hurts somewhere here. So it's not really comfortable seating position, to be honest, if I just compare it to the ID.4. So it's just a couple of centimeters here and there, but yeah, test it out yourself, which seating position is better for you. So the car is the same, but different. Yeah. Let's have a look at the charging speed. And so we are now at 58%, and the car is actually charging with 82 kilowatt. So 82 kilowatt at 60%. Let's have a look at the charging curve. So the charging curve can be seen here. So it tells me, so this is actually the charging curve. So the maximum was 138 kilowatt, which is okay, but yeah, not really perfect. So the average is 114 kilowatt and falling, because we are now at 60% already. So let's see how much it takes us to reach 100%. So from 0 to 100%, let's have a look. So otherwise, the car has these very big wheels. So it's what wheels are this? It's 235 45 R21, so it's 21-inch wheels. And honestly, I have the 19-inch wheels on mine, and they are more comfortable, but this is up to you. So looks nice, and in the front it also has this light bar in the evening. So speaking about consumption, I also tested the car in Germany, driving 180 or 180 something. So this is the maximum speed of the car, and I've driven pretty much time on the Autobahn with 180, 160 and so on, and the consumption was maximum 22 kilowatt. So actually not that bad, considering the car is on average consuming about 16 kilowatt hours. And yeah, on the Autobahn, if you go full gas or full speed, then it's just 22 on average. So I think it's okay. And yeah, the consumption is really good, even on the Autobahn. So guys, the car just reached 80%, so let's have a look how long it took us to reach this 80%. Let's have a look at the charging curve again at 80%, and it took us 38 minutes to reach 80% or to charge 62 kilowatt hours. And yeah, the average was 97 kilowatt. So yeah, currently charging at 64 kilowatt, and let's have a look how long it takes till 100. So guys, the car is now at 100%. Let's have a look at the curve. So the average was 75 or almost 76 kilowatt. It took the car 1 hour and 2 minutes to reach from 0 to 100. And let's have a look at the curve. That's the charging curve. Yeah, tell me if it's good or not. I think it could be better. But yeah, so basically the average is at 80 kilowatt hours. So let's talk about some conclusions about the car. So I think you are better off with an older ID.4 with a smaller screen, with less features, and you have still a better, more comfortable drive. If you prefer these sporty things and you actually are driving not much, then you can consider this Enyaq RS or the ID.5. But I think if you compare it to the older ID.4 from the first generation, let's say, there is no real advantages for the newer ID.4s or the newer system here. So it's super laggy, and yeah, basically I'm really happy when my ID.4 is back to me, and yeah, waiting for the repair. They're actually changing a battery module, but that's another story. Stay tuned and see you next time.